Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Should You Play, where I show you some spoiler-free gameplay and give you my thoughts after playing new games for a few hours, while also highlighting and checking out at least one of the PlayStation Plus games for each month. In this video I'm playing one of the March 2025 PlayStation Plus games, Sonic Colors Ultimate, the 2021 enhanced remaster of the Sonic Colors game which originally released in 2010 on the Wii. While I'm not the world's biggest Sonic fan, I think it's fair to say that being a real Sonic fan comes with its challenges. The franchise has had its share of ups and downs, and while there have been some standout titles like Sonic Generations and Sonic Mania, there have also been plenty of games that deserve their criticism as well. As far as Sonic Colors Ultimate goes, personally I'd say it leans more towards the positive side, with some issues, so let's talk about the specifics. In Sonic Colors Ultimate, Dr. Eggman has built himself an amusement park in an attempt to make up for his past misdeeds, but of course Sonic and Tails quickly realize that Eggman is actually enslaving a race of colorful aliens to power a dangerous new device.
I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm sure of what I'm gonna do.
As Sonic, your job is to explore the amusement park, free the aliens, and using their unique abilities, take down Eggman before he causes any more harm. Overall, a pretty standard Sonic plot, and it doesn't really need to be any more complex than that for a game like this.
Because Eggman plus secretly built amusement park equals evil plot for us to foil.
When it comes to the gameplay, Sonic Colors Ultimate is all about high-speed platforming. The game switches between 2D side-scrolling and 3D gameplay fairly often, which keeps things balanced and engaging, and you'll be running around, jumping, dodging obstacles and enemies, and completing objectives. The goal of each level is simply to reach the end while collecting as many rings and other items as possible, and of course, using the Wisps' powers to do so.
I absorbed those aliens and got powered up with like some kind of wild energy.
Replaying levels is also a big part of the game, but not required if you just want to play the main story and move on. You'll unlock the Wisps progressively throughout the game, and some levels can't be fully completed until you unlock certain ones in later worlds. Each one will give you a unique temporary ability, such as the drill one that lets you dig through soft surfaces, or the laser one which turns you into a beam that can bounce around or shoot far ahead, and you'll be able to unlock certain areas or collectibles that you wouldn't have been able to reach without them. As with most Sonic games, the game is a blast when you're moving fast, but when you slow down or need to wait for something to progress, the game really slows down. Waiting for platforms to move or navigating slow sections always feels like a drag, and to me, it's something that's been an unfortunate staple in the series for years. Additionally, I will say that the controls can feel a little sluggish compared to the other more recent Sonic games I've played, which can add to the slowness as well. I'm admittedly not the best Sonic gamer in the world, but even I felt that the movements were a bit harder to control, especially in comparison to titles such as Sonic Forces or Generations.
If you say so.
When it comes to the overall difficulty, the game definitely ramps up the challenge as you progress through each world, but it never crosses over to the point where it becomes punishing.
I wouldn't say it was that easy.
The only thing that would have been nice to have seen a bit more of is a few more forgiving checkpoints. Levels are relatively short, with most of them being completable in under 3 minutes, but there are times where you'll die right before the finish and you'll be placed back at the start of the level and have to go through tedious sections all over again.
Almost made it!
As for bosses, they're a mixed bag. Sonic bosses tend to be the weakest part of every game, and Sonic Colors Ultimate is no exception. Some of the bosses, most notably the first world's boss, are ridiculously easy, and you may defeat them without even realizing that you did everything you needed to. Other bosses, such as the second world's boss, are more annoying to deal with though, not because they're difficult, but because, as with the main levels, dying can result in you having to replay tedious or longer sections that are just too repetitive to be fun.
Just thinking about it makes my head feel like it wants to. Huh?
Now, since Sonic Colors Ultimate is a remastered and enhanced version of the 2010 game, the game is largely the same as the original, but there are also a few significant additions as well. Most notably, there's a new Wisp in the game, a new soundtrack, and a customization mode where you can unlock cosmetics such as new gloves, shoes, auras, and more, which lets you change how Sonic looks while playing. There are also some quality of life changes, such as the removal of a traditional game over, but overall, all of the additions are good things that weren't needed, but are definitely appreciated.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
The in-game graphics and visuals of Sonic Colors Ultimate look great. The bright colors and updated textures really help bring the amusement park setting to life across the various planets, and they're fun environments that match the upbeat and high-energy vibe of the Sonic games. Cutscenes, on the other hand, are a different story, as they don't appear to have been remastered or updated with any significant polish.
I reckon that hurt a bit.
They feel like a complete throwback to the original game, and intentional or not, are honestly a bit jarring to watch when compared to the rest of the game's smooth and modern looking levels. By itself, it's not something that would make me not recommend the game to someone, but it just strikes me as a weird decision that sticks out since everything else is so well polished and designed. As far as performance bugs and glitches go, on PlayStation I didn't encounter any noticeable issues. The The game runs pretty smoothly overall, though I did have a few moments where the way that in-game mechanics presented themselves made it look like I ran into a bug, but it ended up just being the way that the game worked. I will note that many users have reported a good amount of problems on the Switch version though, with issues such as lower frame rates and much longer load times being common, so that's something to be aware of if you're not playing on the PlayStation version. But if you are, it should be a smooth ride from start to finish like mine was.
Yeah, I think your machine still has some bugs.
Sonic Colors Ultimate is a fun ride, especially for fans of Sonic's classic platforming gameplay, but it's not without its flaws. The cutscenes' outdated graphics are a weird aspect to have kept unchanged, bosses are often far too easy or repetitively annoying, and the controls can sometimes feel a bit clunky. Still, the new content such as the customization options, a new soundtrack, and an additional ability are nice touches that make the game feel fresh despite it being a remaster. And if you're a Sonic fan already, you'll probably enjoy this game either way.
Somehow I knew you'd say that!
Plus, with it being a fairly short game to beat, unless you're going after every single collectible, you'll know early on whether it's your type of game. As always though, this is just my opinion. Whether you've just started investigating Dr. Eggman's amusement park, or you've already helped the Wisps get free, let me know in the comments what you think of Sonic Colors Ultimate. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.